So I played Fallout 4 and finally understood it. As my interest in the game has dwindled over the past few weeks, having already been put out hundreds of hours into it, it suddenly struck me as to why I launched this game a couple of days ago. Unlike previous times, I decided to just let the title screen run for a good while. And then I saw it. The power armor in the frame, a refurnished gas station, loads of tools, scraps, parts, fans, the park charts, and even more tools and scraps. All of this, I took it as a means to, this is a game where you create stuff, where you build from the ground up, where you scavenge, repurpose, where the power armor is your good friend. And this isn't why I like Fallout. In terms of difference and similarities, Fallout 3 was out of the 4 Fallout games I played that I haven't even bothered to replay it. It seemed so repetitive, so devoid of content that I simply lost interest in it once in a while once I was done with this game. By comparison, New Vegas is the one I replayed the most. Not because it was the most accessible game, it's not. It's filled with bugs and rushed content, but because it had most of the depth I have seen in the 3D Fallout games out there. It's not perfect, but what can you expect from a game made in 18 months? Fallout's gameplay mechanics aside, which makes the classic titles so different to the new titles, is the simple formula. You create a unique character. That character has strengths and limitations. You explore, meet new people, do quests for them. You choose how to solve this quest, and combat is not necessarily the only and obvious answers. This holds true for the most of the titles before Fallout 4, because it has been almost 10 years since I last played it. Fallout 4 makes a few too many drastic changes to the formula, and they are all tied together for a simple reason. Role-playing is not what makes Fallout 4 tick. Combat, scavenging, and upgrading is the main component of this game. As a result, your character no longer feels unique. Like, I knew this because of the voice acting that the main character has, which was not present in the past titles. There was a silent protagonist. If you choose not to invest in perks related to modifications, combat, and settlement, you feel like you are skipping a good part about this game that makes the combat and the gameplay loop works. Strength and limitations are a thing of the past. No matter how awful your special stats may be, because of how perks have been reworked to tie to your specials, upgrading your specials is expected and encouraged. You explore and meet new stuffs to kill. Out of 10 locations, maybe one of the NPC you can interact with, and that's assuming that it's just not another settlement to befriend, which is otherwise lacks any content. Quests are usually solved with combat 99% of the time. Gone are the skill checks that makes your character build play into how you solve quests. Even though there are many flaws in Fallout New Vegas about how to create the characters, like the character creator, because by the end of the game you are just maxed out every single works to 100. So that was a big general flaw. But in this game, in one quest I gave up on, lauded as one of the best Fallout quests involving a certain ship with an unusual crew, my character managed to steal an item undetected from a drawer, only for the game to decide that that wasn't fair and turn the entire population of the building hostile on me. This felt so out of place for a Bethesda game, which usually encouraged the player to solve things in a way that aren't immediately obvious. I may think about Morrowind a bit here, but really, since Oblivion, they are quickly devolving this formula bit by bit. And as follows from the last bullet points, combat is the way you are expected to solve quest. In my experience, 90% of the quest involves killing something. So what is Fallout 4? It is such a strange title that this game is called Fallout 4, which feels nothing like a Fallout to me. To the point I told myself, maybe don't judge this game as a Fallout title and you would have more fun. And so I did. And here was what I was met with. If you are not excited by random loot having words like focused, improved and strengthened or leaded, then this game is not for you. And if you are not excited by discovering magazine in a place of important NPCs or memorable NPCs, then this game is not for you. If you are excited in building up your own lifeless settlement instead of discovering one that is handcrafted, then this game is not for you. If you are excited in Radiant Quest that has no ties to the location you are sent to, this game is not for you. If you are excited by killing hordes of enemies every step of the game, then this game is not for you. If you are not excited by your character being able to make quirky, sarcastic remarks to NPC over being able to use your skills and knowledge in dialogue, then this game is not for you. Am I overreacting? The reality is, all of these things are on its own, separated from the Fallout roots of this game, which is what I wasn't particularly expecting when I first started playing this game. It really made me feel like I was just running around killing stuff, upgrading my gear, picking up magazines or two, and moving on to the next dungeons. Not even the game's environmental storytelling, not even that aspect of the game was engaging, because in this game the environmental means that the story dumps through terminals and notes. That's my conclusion. Fallout 4 is not the game for me, because Fallout 4 is not what I play Fallout for. I played this game on survival difficulty. I played with mods to make the games even more unforgiving, but not unfairly so. For the longest time, I don't use any mods that allow quick saves or auto saves in survival. The amount of how bloated playtime is arguably half of the time went into the exploring of the game's content and half of the time me just replaying what I had done 5 minutes earlier before dying to a random name. This is another example how Fallout was transformed from an RPG where perceptions influenced by your abilities to detect traps to perception affecting your skills in VATS, even when it was simply easier to snipe an opponent 300 meters away without VATS. It should goes without saying, but I don't think Fallout New Vegas is anywhere close to being a perfect RPG. You may asking why I made this video. The game is not for me, but throughout this game I start to enjoy this game much more when I shut off my Fallout brains from my scavenger hunt brains, where I just play the game as a action adventure. And that's what I did. And in that department, it is a very good game in that sense, because the gunplay is much smoother than New Vegas. The mods, the palpability of mods makes this game much more smoother to control and transform this game into a good one. So I fiddle around with mods for quite a bit, which generally increases the life of this game quite much. So if anyone asking, do I recommend this game right now in 2024, I would say yes. This game is a good action RPG, not a good Fallout game, but a good action RPG with a satisfying gunplay and streamlined mechanics, and which makes for a smooth experience. I cannot recommend to a Fallout veterans, but I do recommend this game to newcomers if they want to play a game with Fallout skin. Not necessarily a Fallout game, but a game with Fallout skin. Thanks for watching.